love with who I am. Back in high school, I used to bust it to the dance. Now I hit the FBO with duffels in my hands. I did half a Zan, 13 hours till I land.
I've been thinking a lot about why I've been lazy. As soon as I get time off, I think about that because I get more time to think. And then I'm like, okay, what do I do with this time? And then you're like, well, if I want to enjoy my weekend, then I should just watch TV all day and feel no shame, right? But that feels so wrong and I hate it and it feels disgusting. So you're like, okay, well, what do I do? And that made me think of like doing stuff whether you want to or not. And it's easy to think, oh yeah, just do stuff whether you want to or not. Stop caring what you want and things will be easy. It sucks to force yourself, but once you do it, it's easy. Well, probably yes, that would work if that weren't already what I was doing at school and at work. And so home becomes like this last place, right? There's 3 places: home, school, and work. And all the other stuff is like special events, whether you hang out with people. But the 3 main places, that's the 3 main places: school, work, and home. So if you don't get to choose what you do at school, and you don't get to choose what you do at work, and you don't get to choose what you do at home, shit is gonna suck, right? But when you take a step back from what you're supposed to do, and when you really analyze it, you don't have more respect for your boss than you do for yourself. I hope. At least most people. I know my boss is stupid. That's why he works there. It's a part-time job. I'm not going to end up there. So I know he's dumb. And yet I do everything he tells me because he's the boss, right? I'll go into work unhappy because, oh, fuck, I don't want to work today. I know there's going to be a bunch of stuff that I'll have to do that I don't want to do. Oh, it sucks. And then you're in it. And then you have to work. And sometimes you get really unlucky and you get those days where even when you're doing it, you're still in that mode of like, oh, this sucks. I'm dreading it. Please, no. But other days you'll start working and it'll just like, you bite the bullet. You accept the fact that you're not going to choose what you do. And you just like turn on zombie mode in your head and you just do it meaninglessly just so that it gets done. Now, why don't you do yourself the same favor? Because despite everything I've said about the job, and how you're forced to do stuff, even if you do stuff badly, like you don't want to go to work. I work in a garage, right? So if I don't want to go to work, I'll do a lazy oil change. Like I'll take shortcuts, I'll do whatever, I'll be lazy. And the oil change will be worse because of it. I won't be as fast or as good as I could be, but I'm still doing it. That's the catch. I am still doing it. But when you're at home, you don't want to do something badly because you're home. So you'll, if I'm not going to do it right, I'm not going to do it at all. Because I only want things done right at home because I respect myself so much, right? Well, what actually happens when you do that is nothing gets done. If you don't feel like working out, if you don't feel like you can give a good workout, then you're not going to work out at all. So you get to say that everything at your house is done right, but that's only the things that do get done. So you end up not doing anything and giving yourself the worst hand. When you do what your employer tells you, you're providing them with something. Even if you don't do it perfectly and you do it lazily and you do it as shitty as you can, you're still doing it. So that's a net win for the employer. But when you're home and you have to like clean your room or whatever, and you don't do it, you're giving yourself, I don't want to say you're disrespecting yourself because that's not really how I feel, but I would want to say that you're not helping yourself. Because there is 2 selves, right? There's the you that thinks and there's the you that does, in my experience. And I've gotten used to getting disappointed by the me who does because I does nothing. Or I rarely do anything. Like one specific day I'll feel great and I'll do a bunch of stuff, but that's like getting rarer. So the secret, I hate that phrasing because it's so internet, but like the secret to doing everything you want to do and getting it done is doing it badly. That's the true secret. People say, oh, build a habit. And like, yeah, all those things are true. There are multiple ways to explain the same issue. The bottom line is do it anyways. But for me, what really bothered me was I hate having to do something that I know isn't as good as it could be. That's why I hate cooking, because I'm always, oh, you cut this one too big, you cut this one too short. It's organic. It's analog, It's not perfect. It's not digital. It's just like no carrot is going to be cut the exact same length. And yeah, you're going to waste some food. And yeah, you're going to make some shitty food to learn. So you wasted all those ingredients, even though someone else better than you could have done way better with the same ingredients, you're wasting them, but you have to waste them. That's the illusion. In my mind, I'm like, why would I waste them? I'll just give them to someone that's better than me, so there's no waste. That's better. That's a net positive for the earth, right? There's less wasting, but you must waste. To learn how to cook, you must fuck up some recipes. You have to. It's just the only way to learn. You can minimize it. You can go about it in a smart way, but there will always be fuck ups and errors, and I hate that. And yeah, there will be errors in stuff that you're good at too. So a counter argument you could make towards me is like, well, you can make mistakes at stuff you're good at too, so why do you bother doing that? Well, because logically, I have less probability of making that and I'm more confident in it. I guess that does make no sense. I changed the brakes on my mom's car without ever having it done before. And why wasn't I worried about a mistake? I could have used that same logic. Oh, because I'm broke. I can't afford to pay a mechanic to do it, so I had no choice but to do it. That's how my confidence got built for mechanical tasks, is being broke. I was forced to do it. I had already bought the parts, the brakes and stuff, so I wasn't fully confident, but I was like, I could probably do this. It's not that hard. And I wouldn't have done them otherwise. Even though I wanted to do them when I bought the parts, clearly, I was in a different space than when it was time to actually do them. And that's what always happens. What happens is, I'll have a day where I have a bunch of ideas and I want to do a bunch of stuff and I feel confident that I can do it. And I accept the trade-off of life, which is to say, I accept the trade-off of I'll make mistakes, but I'll get better because I feel motivated. And then when it comes time to do it, I'll revert back to my old way of thinking, which is, why waste my time? Not my time, because I don't value my time that much, but why waste mental effort on this when I know someone else could do it better than me? But that's a dumb question, because if you thought that way all your life, you wouldn't have learned how to read. Why would I bother communicating when there are already people better than me? It's like, some questions, even though they sound good, aren't good questions. I don't know how else to explain it, but like, it's like if I ask you what's better, a hammer or a screwdriver, that's not a real good question. That's not a question that exists, or it shouldn't exist, at least. I mean, the answer is depends on what you're doing, right? But a lot of the questions that I find the most interesting are the questions that are unanswerable. Those are the ones that are the most appealing, because they're like, they force you to take a new approach, and that's fun mentally for me. I forgot what this is about. Yeah, it was about how your employer tells you to do stuff and you do it, and you tell yourself to do stuff and you don't do it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Juggernaut come with the band, ayy. Gun do not come with no plan, ayy. Keep the combat pad, ayy. Cracks never get a pathway. Credit like my name was Shad, ayy. Watch me fucking tag, babe. Okay, get your demo out my face, shot. Trying to get that dick Kelly Conway. For my case, boy, I beat that shit like Lennon.
So yeah, it's tempting to say stuff like, you should be your own boss, be your own employer and employee. You should make your voice inside your head the boss and your body the employee. But I don't know if that actually leads to happiness or anything positive. But I know that me personally, I need to start doing less than thinking. That's been a big thing for a while. But I hate it. Everything, I just hate it. I hate accepting the burden of reality. I hate accepting the fact that I am responsible for everything, because it feels better to live in denial than to live in reality. Because when you're in your bed on your phone, you don't have to face anything. You don't have to deal with anything. You just get to be entertained. And yes, it's pathetic and sad, but when you're in it, you don't realize it because you're entertained. You're like, oh yeah, this is interesting. But over time, you realize that what you're feeding yourself mentally, you are who you hang out with. And when you hang out with no one, you are what you watch. So you end up being radicalized or having really out of touch opinions that are all fueled by the internet. And you can notice these people when you see them in public. I personally always notice when someone is chronically online. I can tell because I've been there, because I know what it's like. I know how they talk. I know everything. I can tell. I can sincerely tell. And I think it's one of the reasons why, or one of the ways that I can figure people out quickly. I'm not trying to brag and say that I'm Batman detective or some shit, but within 5 seconds of talking to someone, you can, like 60% of the time, tell exactly what they are. Just from their vibe, just from their age, the way they talk, what they're talking about, just their overall. If you're observant, you can tell easily. You take him and then you immediately put him in a box. Oh, that's unfair. Oh, some people can surprise you. Oh, no. Yes, but most of the time, no, because most of the time people aren't even being themselves. They're playing a character. And so when you notice that character, you can immediately put them in a box of they're this type of person. And if you like, I don't know how to explain this, but like, you can tell when people want you to believe that they're nice people. And if you tell the people who are trying to act nice, oh, hey, I noticed you're really nice. Or if you compliment them about how they want to be perceived, you can tell that they really love it, because they're like, it's like telling an actor they did a good job. They're like, yes, they're believing it. And that might sound ridiculous, but people don't even realize they do this. They play characters. When you're with a certain group of people, you play a certain character. When you're in a different group of people, you play a different character. Because you have a bunch of thoughts, but you'll group them in different personalities. And when you're with these friends, you say these types of... When you're with these friends, you say these types of jokes. When you're with your parents, you say these types of jokes, maybe. So, yeah. So that's why it's easy to categorize people. But also, this raises the question of like, what happened if you were 100% yourself all the time with everyone? That's an interesting question, right? At least it is to me, but that's the thing about interesting questions. You can use them as like thought experiments to think creatively, but you can also answer them yourself pretty quickly, because realistically it's easy to predict. What would happen if you would be yourself all the time? Okay, well, first off, your parents would get offended because you're making inappropriate jokes. Your friend would get weirded out by your sudden very high honesty, and like also get weirded out by, probably for me personally, they would get weirded out by how many cool jokes I make, or jokes that are not funny just because I thought of them. I would say everything that I thought of in this scenario. So people get weirded out. You lose friends. Things that they might well, don't go shit because you're something weird about yourself. I guess that the lesson in this hypothetical is, well, you have to play a mask. But I think that's what the fantasy of the best friend is all about. Like, the fantasy of the best friend is someone that you can be 100% yourself and they get it. Or the fantasy of a perfect relationship, I guess. I feel like this applies more to same gender stuff. Like, two guys, best friends, they'll understand themselves better than a guy and his girlfriend on average, I feel like. I feel like in modern culture, the girlfriend isn't the role of the understanding partner, and neither is the boyfriend. I feel like the girlfriend, boyfriend are delegated to or relegated to. I don't know. I never know which one. But they're what you fuck, and the friends is what matters. But the girlfriend, they come and go. The boyfriends, they come and go. But they're like, in order to prove my point, let me illustrate. Have you had more friends or more boyfriends currently? Because if I were to bet, I'd bet that you have had a group of friends who have seen multiple boyfriends of yours or girlfriends of yours. And I would not bet that you have one boyfriend who has seen you go through multiple friends. I think it's the first scenario way more often. So that proves that girlfriend and boyfriend is a more intense but shorter term relationship, especially in these years, like from 16 to 25. Even 30 maybe, I don't know, I'm not there yet, since I am canonically 15 according to one of my videos. But yeah, with a fantasy of like the best friend who understands everything, which is always weird from my standpoint, because it's like, if you have a best friend that understands you so much and has been there for you all your life, why wouldn't you date them? They're basically the perfect partner, right? I mean, apart from physical and maybe you're not gay or whatever, apart from all that, like, emotionally and mentally speaking, they've proven themselves to be the perfect person for you, because they understand you. Because otherwise, why have you sticked around them for so long? I'm talking about true best friends, not like we're both broke and we are forced to hang out because we are neighbors and need each other type dynamic. I'm talking about something that's lasted through time, but not out of necessity, just out of pure quality of the relationship. Because I mean, like, the average straight guy has a best friend and has had multiple girlfriends. So I don't understand the, like, why wouldn't you date your homie? Like, why not try it at least? Imagine that ends up being the most, like, fulfilling relationship ever, and the only reason you're not doing it is he has a dick. Who says you have to fuck? You don't have to fuck. You could be, like, emotionally intimate to a point that it's like a relationship, except you don't fuck. Maybe you just, like, hug or whatever. Don't even have to kiss. To me, it's like a locked door with a key on the ground, and people are like, yeah, but I won't pick up the key because the key's gay. It's like, dude, you have the solution right there. You have all the emotional fulfillment and understanding you'll ever need if the other person really cares about you. So why would you reach for a bad bitch who's not gonna last more than 3 months in your life? Like, why? But also, maybe the reason why the relationship with the best friend goes so well is because it's not romantic. Because romantic relationships are riskier because you're more exposed. You have to trust someone a lot to be in a relationship with them. You have to show them the ugly parts of you and hope that they accept, while you must accept their ugly parts, and it has to be mutual, which is very, very rare because there's often a slight power imbalance of like, oh, he likes me a little more than I like him. For girls, for example, like, oh, he likes me more than I like him, so I'm going to use that little. Or guys who are like, oh, well, she really needs me sexually, so I'm going to use that as a power play. Like, it's very easy to manipulate your boyfriend, girlfriend because you're way closer to them than a best friend. If you told your best friend, I'm not going to hang out with you unless you do this, they would probably just laugh at you and move on and be like, yeah, whatever. But if you do that to someone you're deeply emotionally connected or connecting with, then it's not the same game. The barrier between relationship and friendship is so fascinating. When you really start dissecting it and start thinking like, what is real, what is bullshit, how does this work, what will happen if this would happen, like there's a lot of unknown. That's why I'm saying like we're all operating on what we think culture is supposed to be, like, because culture, that's another way that culture shapes us so much, is that we just follow what is socially acceptable, not because we're all sheep and losers and we are not critical thinkers like Jimmy, IQ 400, age 12 on Reddit. No, it's because we don't fucking know what to do. I mean, what do you do when your best friend does a thing that's slightly gay? Like, do you put, like, what do? You go with the script. You're like, okay, well, I think this is considered gay, so maybe don't do that again. And what do you do when the person that you like, I don't know how to explain this in a good example, but that's why things get weird when you have a girl and a guy being friends. A lot of people don't believe that's possible because they shape their understanding of relationships through culture, and culture says guy girl kiss time, fuck sexy time. They don't say guy girl friend time. Or maybe they say guy-girl friend time, but only when you're watching cartoons at 5 years old. And then when you grow up and watch real media, you notice that every time there's two characters, that's a girl and a guy, and they fuck. Oh, it's weird. Or they end up in a relationship. Or the hero gets the girl, right? It's just like social scripts. And it's really hard to use that word without sounding pretentious. But I'm trying. So please let me get away with it. And I have female friends, right? And yeah, I wanted to fuck them. I don't know what that says about me. Am I a bad person? Am I a normal person? Have I proven myself wrong through admitting this? Maybe, I don't know. But that's just the way it is. I think, especially when you have like a female friend you're emotionally close with, if you even get to that point as a guy, which is rare, it's very tempting because you're like, well, it's the same thing I've just said. We've already proven we can be great friends, so why not push further? But I wonder if it's the etiquette that scares people more than the reality, because the reality is a relationship would just be more physicality between me and this friend that I already trust emotionally and stuff, and who already knows me way too much. So yeah, but maybe she's afraid of being official, right? That's a real fear in relationships, the being official, the like, it's a stereotype, and it's not a stereotype, it's something that we've all heard about or seen or felt or have experienced, I think. But guy or girl, doesn't matter, but someone who likes your company, trusts you, and is physical with you, but doesn't want to make it official. And that's also a puzzling situation, because why? I mean, we're already doing it, so why does it scare you to tell other people we're doing something that we're already doing? And the answer to that is...
So what, you fat, you ugly, and you stink, monkey? Shut up with your ugly ass!
That making it official implies cultural expectations, which goes back to what I was saying earlier about culture and expectations, about how culture shapes us. They do enjoy being in a relationship with you, as long as you don't call it a relationship, because once you call it a relationship, then they get stressed out, because now they think about all the movies they saw, and they think about how, not explicitly, but like without knowing, they think about all the expectations that come around dating, like, oh my god, do I have to force myself to take you out on dates even after I've had 2 busy weeks in a row? Because right now we're not official, right? So I can like not talk to you for a week and there's no issue because I have my own life, and because we're not official, you don't have those expectations of me. But after we do go official, then you'll have expectations of me, expectations that have been built around the way you were raised and the way you were raised in your culture specifically, and especially in North America, where like if you have a girlfriend or a boyfriend, like you're supposed to go on dates, you're supposed to spend time together. we don't even know why or how these norms were created. We're just born into them, right? And I'm not here to say that they're good or bad norms. I'm just here to point them out as something that exists. Like, hey, there is this expectation of this and this, and it's fun to notice it in isolation instead of just thinking that that's what you're supposed to do. So as a general piece of advice, if you want to ignore everything that I've just said, I guess the TLDR would be, don't do stuff that doesn't feel right, even if you think you're supposed to. That's the magic sentence, right? That condenses everything I've said. So I hope what I'm saying is understandable. I always hope. I don't feel like editing a longer video, so I'll stop it here. But I'll try to conclude. I'm about to conclude. I'll try to give a conclusion before I end this. I don't even know what this started with. But even though I don't go back on what I said to pull out a conclusion from it, if you listen carefully, you already know where I'm going with everything that I'm saying. So I guess that's my conclusion. Anyways.
Hey, she's in love with who I am. Back in high school, I used to bust it to the dance. Now I hit the FBO with duffels in my hands. I did half a Zan, 13 hours till I land.